Hi, welcome back to the Cheshire TV show with Ian and Alex Story. In this week's episode, we go and meet Rebecca Skelly, who is a very experienced conveyancing solicitor at Moss Hazelhurst in Northwich. We also put some questions to her from you guys, so that will be really interesting.
Yeah, a really interesting show coming up, plus all the usual property bits and pieces, including buy-to-let deals, just sold, and fresh-to-market listings in Cheshire. So now it's time to go and meet Rebecca Skelly. So hi guys, we're here with Rebecca and Joanne from Moss Hazelhurst in Northwich. It's nice to meet you both.
Hello. Hi.
We know each other already via work, don't we?
Yeah.
So we're going to have a bit of a chat and find out a bit more about this well-established local business. So if you could talk me through, Joanne, first of all, how long the company's been here. It's a very established position here in Northwich, isn't it? And then your role within the company.
Yeah, that's right. The company actually started in 1906, would you believe? So, yeah, very, very well established. Mr. Moss started it all of those years ago.
Yeah, wow.
And Mr. Hazelhurst came and joined him in 1946. So, been in Northwich all of this time. We opened an office in Winsford in the 1970s. Okay. So, spreading out over Cheshire there. Yeah. Personally, I'm one of the directors in the firm. I've been with the firm for 14 years now. So I'm a residential property solicitor and a notary public as well. So we do all sorts of things like that. And Rebecca here is also one of our property solicitors.
Yes. I've not been here quite as long, but coming up to 5 years now. So we have a high staff retention, don't we really? So
we do.
We always are here for a while.
We always joke that quite often we have staff here for 30 years.
Wow. That's great. That's really good, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I certainly know from dealing with the company so far, it's the right sort of company to deal with in terms of how good you are at communication, getting back to people.
Yes.
Which is very important when you're dealing with a company, isn't it? You don't always get that.
Yes, definitely. Client care is a big focus for us. So we like you to be updated and you guys to be updated. So.
Yeah, which I can tell that already.
Yeah.
So do you want to talk me through a bit more about what else you offer as well as residential property services then?
Yeah, well, we've got a huge range of services, really, and the kind of things that you would expect from a high street practice. So not just the residential property buying and selling, also do lots of work with wills, which of course are very important when people are buying their properties as well. Probate work as well, landlord and tenant work, which can be very useful for our property clients as well, if they need tenancy agreements and the like for their clients. Or also if they're having trouble with their tenants as well, and that can become a big issue. We do family work as well, plenty of that. Again, very important when people are moving in together that they have their cohabitation arrangements all in place as well.
We do commercial property as well. Bit of criminal law, employment law, sort of everything really. It just says on the tin, really.
Yeah, very good. So how many staff are there here? How many people are working in the building? Quite a few.
Around about 30 overall.
Okay. Wow,
We've got 3 directors of the company, several solicitors specialising in different areas, and we've got really super support staff, right down to the receptionists on the front who you met when you came
I speak to them quite a bit. Yeah. One of them's having computer problems today, but
we're
discussing how frustrating it is when that happens.
Hopefully not too much.
No, hopefully not too much. So do you want to talk me through, obviously you both live in Cheshire, as we know.
Yes.
What what do we love about Cheshire? What do we love about the local area?
I think it's really lovely and friendly. I like how green it is because obviously I've got a little dog, so we go out on dog walks a lot.
Yeah.
It's stunning buildings locally.
Yes.
So it's a really nice place to be. And you also find that there's a lot of community going on. And that's certainly something that we like to get involved in as a firm as well. Get involved with local charities and community events.
Yeah, very
and
important.
really means that we can go out and reach people. And it also means that we can have a really good time sort of getting involved in events.
As much as we can, really.
Yeah, that's lovely. So we've got a few viewer questions that I'd just like to cover because, as we know, I'm an estate agent and you're a conveyancing solicitor.
Yeah.
So we've on one of our shows last week and the week before, we put out to our Facebook page. Do any viewers have any questions that we'd like to ask Rebecca?
Okay.
So is it okay if I put those to you?
That's fine. Yeah, I'm sure we can handle it.
And we can see how we get on.
Yeah.
So we had Gary in Rudheath asked, what's the difference between leasehold and freehold?
So with freehold, you own the whole property and the land all together, and then with leasehold, that freeholder will have chosen to create a lease out of basically the land they own. So you're going to have a lease and you're responsible for certain things under that lease, and you have to report back to the freeholder as part of that. Okay,
because there's been quite a bit in the press about it recently, hasn't there, about big developers overcharging for it.
Yes.
And they're trying to stop it, aren't they?
Yes, definitely, yes. I mean, we're accredited under the Conveyancing Quality Scheme, which is raising those issues at the moment, isn't it, really? So that's what we're trying to make sure that all our clients are fully aware of the leasehold situation.
Yeah.
They know what they're getting into, and they can go forward that way.
Yeah, because what I know, I've dealt with it a lot over the years, where people purchase the freehold, and it makes the property so much more sellable, far easier to sell.
Yes.
But then there's certain leases that are really old, and it's like a peppercorn ground rent of a couple of quid a year.
Yeah.
Or you can get 300, 400, 500 quid's worth of ground rent, can't you, depending on how old the leases are.
It really varies enormously depending upon the lease.
It does.
So it's really, really important that your solicitor takes you through all of it.
People hear
so
the
you know
word
exactly.
and can get scared off.
Yes.
When sometimes it's not as bad as you think. Is it?
Yeah, exactly. And it's what suits you and what property is right for you at the end of the day. But as long as you're fully aware of the situation, that's what we try and achieve.
That's where you come in.
Yes, definitely.
Good. Okay. So we had Kate in Hertford. How long is the average time between offer and completion? This is the sort of question I get asked.
Yes,
and I say,
understandably.
How long's a piece of string?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it all depends on how long your chain is and who you've got on the other side from you.
Yeah.
We obviously want to do it as quickly as possible, work as efficiently as possible for all involved.
Indeed.
I mean, we often say it can be 8 to 10 weeks usually.
Rule of thumb.
Just, if you're buying, you're going to have searches, you need to get your mortgage offer. Those things can delay it. But if you have a deadline that you want us to meet and you let us know, we can obviously work towards that as much as possible.
It depends on the chain, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah.
Massively.
But the goal is to get you in when you want to be in.
Yeah,
So,
that's a good answer.
Yeah.
So another question from Liam in Tarpley. What does it mean when you say enquiries have been raised?
So I get asked this one a lot. So when you buy a house, your seller is going to send all the information over to us about the property.
Okay.
So I will then look through everything. So that's the title, any forms and things the sellers have filled in. And if there's anything I think I want to know a bit more about that and you need to know more about that, I will ask questions. So essentially raise inquiries are the questions that I'm going to ask.
Okay.
And we always send our clients copies of everything when we raise inquiries.
Yeah.
So you can then decide if there's anything extra you want to ask as well. So it covers everything, hopefully.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it would be nice for you to clarify, this is from Sue in Kingsmead, what does exchange of contracts mean? Because I think sometimes people think that exchange is the end of the process.
Yes, it's not. In order to be able to exchange contracts, you need to have your completion date agreed and set. And exchange contracts is essentially when it all becomes legal. So from that point on, your completion date is set in stone and there's going to be penalties if you don't go forward with completion. But you can exchange at any time. It can even be on the same day of completion.
Yeah.
But obviously it's a bit more comfortable if you can exchange in advance.
Beforehand.
So you all know you can put your removals and everything's safe and happy.
As guaranteed as it can be.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, great. And then the final question was from Gavin, who lives in Davenham. What are the basic stages of conveyancing, so of the process?
On a purchase side, obviously you'd get all the documents in, as I mentioned before, and I will raise inquiries. Hopefully get your mortgage offer in if you've got one. We'll order searches, which can take a while to come back sometimes, but that just gives us all the information about the property completely.
Yeah.
We will then report to you with all the information we've got. That will go back to you. If you're happy and you want to go ahead, we can start talking about dates, liaise with you guys as the agents, and then hopefully exchange contracts and complete.
Yeah.
And the sale's kind of the opposite of that, really. So we'd send all the information out to your buyer, and then they'll ask us questions, sign contracts, get everything sorted, set your date, done.
So from your perspective, would you say there's more work involved when you're acting for a purchaser rather than a seller?
Yes,
Because
definitely.
you're
We're checking everything and making sure it's okay for you.
rather than just sending replies.
rather than sending it out,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Fab.
Yeah.
So if you could talk me through why, out of all the solicitors on the high street, people should choose Moss Hazelhurst.
I mean, I like to think we're friendly, we're approachable, we're professional. We're going to get it done efficiently, as we said.
Yeah. Client care is very important to us. We like to make sure that our clients know what's happening every step of the way, because it's a scary thing to buy and sell houses, and you need someone quite often
to hold your
there
hand.
to hold your hand.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's good. That's
And
good to
we
hear.
find we have great feedback from a lot of our clients. Like, we've acted for clients generation upon generation, so that we hope that shows we are good at what we do.
Yeah, I mean, if you've been here so long, must say a lot.
Well,
Yes.
That's right. And most of our clients are either existing clients or recommendations from other clients. So, you know, the word gets out that we've looked after somebody and you know, they let people know, which is great. Also, I think people are very price conscious at the moment. But they need to be getting quality
They do.
of
It's
service
not about
for
cheap,
their
is
money.
it? It's about good
Not
quality,
about cheap.
value.
Definitely,
Value
yeah.
for money. Yeah, that's right.
We do try to be competitive where possible, and we
That's
don't believe in hidden fees. There's no referral fees paid. It's
Okay.
what you see is what you get with us, which is important, I think.
To be upfront like that about the costs that are involved.
Yeah.
Fab. Okay, lovely. Well, it was great to meet these two ladies, and now back to the studio. Hi, welcome back to the studio. It was really interesting to have a good chat to Rebecca there and to put those viewer questions to her. We use Rebecca for as many of our sales as possible. She's really very on the ball.
Yeah, she's brilliant. They're such a well-established business as well. They've been there for a long, long time.
Yeah, for a long time.
Yep. And now it's time for our buy-to-let feature.
Cheshire buy-to-let landlords. I'm out and about again looking for good buy-to-let deals for your portfolio. Today I'm in Molton. This property behind me here is on the market with iAgent Homes for £90,000. So it needs some modernisation. Let's assume you can get the property for around £87,000 with an absolute maximum spend of £20,000. You're going to be left with £107,000 spend plus your stamp duty. Now, this property, once modernised, will let very easily. They let really easily down here. You'll get 575 per calendar month, which leaves you with a really decent yield of 6.5%. So what I'll do is put the Rightmove link in the comments below, but I suggest you take a look. They rent really well down here, like I say, and it could be the next property in your portfolios. Hi there, welcome back. Another good buy-to-let deal there for Cheshire landlords. If I can help at all answering any questions related to lettings, please just send me a message.
And for our lifestyle feature this week, we went back to see Dave Raftery, who is the wine manager at Define Food and Wine in Sandy Way. So I'm here with Dave Raftery, wine manager at Define Food and Wines. Now we're going to talk about different wines for different budgets. So thanks for taking the time to talk to me, Dave. Do you want to start off by telling us about the cheapest option here? So this retails at £21.
Okay, so this is made with a grape called Marsanne. It's made over in California. Marsanne is a grape that's famous in the Rhone region of France, and in fact there's winemakers in California who are so obsessed with the grapes of that region they call themselves the Rhone Rangers. Okay. This wine is going to give you a classic rich texture to it, a little bit of peach, a little bit of apricot, a touch of tangerine. It's a good wine to pair with things such as certain fish dishes, slightly creamier, richer dishes as well, but good acidity running through the wine.
Okay, great. And what about the middle one here, which is retailing for £42?
So this is made by Tyrrell's. It's their VAT 1 Semillon. It's probably the most famous Semillon that you'll find anywhere in the world. It's a wine that can age spectacularly. 20 to 40 years is not a problem for these wines. In its youth, it has rapier acidity, which gives it wonderful precision and cleanness, and it has a very, very tart notes to it. As it ages over the course of time, it will then develop more honeyed notes to it, a richer texture to the wine. When it's probably in its 10 to 20 years, then you'd probably want to have it with somewhat nutty, rich cheeses like Comte, things of that nature.
Okay, brilliant. And then the most expensive that we've got here is that retails for £100. What about that one?
So this is from Burgundy. The white of Burgundy is Chardonnay, and the most celebrated part of Burgundy is the Meursault area. Meursault wines are quite distinctive. They've got a very, very great rich texture to them. There's a butteriness coming through, and this is a wine that will work very, very well with chicken, fish dishes, risottos, things of that nature, or on its own.
Okay, fab, thank you for that. And for a wine novice then, do you want to talk us through what we're looking for when you pour the wine? Is it the smell or...?
Well, there's a number of things that you want to do when you're looking at a glass of wine. Obviously, if the wine is cloudy, it might be a sign that the wine hasn't been filtered, or it might be a sign of a full. But if it's a good clean colour, then that's obviously a good starting point. We generally advise people, first thing to do is to give the wine a bit of a swill. The purpose of that is to release the aromas, and then you breathe in and take it through the nostrils, and you'll pick up, first of all, in this particular case, peaches, apricots coming through. A second swill might release further aromas as well. And then at that stage, if everything's smelling okay, then you can taste it.
Okay.
So what you need to do then is to swill the wine around in your mouth. The purpose of that is to allow all the receptors in your tongue and around your gums to pick up the flavours, the tannins, the acidity of the wine. And it gives you a fuller picture of how good the wine is, whether it needs a bit more time. This particular wine is a perfect drinking at the moment.
Okay, brilliant, thank you. And is it a myth then that if you're trying a lot, you shouldn't really be swallowing it all, you should spit it out? You see that sometimes on TV,
Yeah, well, if you go to a trade event and you might have to taste 120 to 200 wines, if you tasted all of them and swallowed, you'd be drunk within about an hour and a half. So spitting is pretty much essential, really.
Okay. So thanks to Dave Raftery, wine manager here at Define Food and Wine. If anyone is interested in learning more about different wines, then do come on down to Define, check it out. Cheers, back to the studio.
That wine looked really good there at Define, Al, didn't it?
I'm still waiting for you to take me to dinner.
Yeah, might be waiting a while. Okay, right, now it's time for one of my favourite features, which is Just Sold. Hello and welcome to Just Sold. This week I've picked a stunning farmhouse which sold last year for £750,000 with Stuart Rushton & Co. The property is on Gallows Clough Lane, which is in between Norley and Oakmere, a really special location. Let's take a look. As you can see from the outside, this is a period farmhouse set in lovely grounds with a lake behind. The grounds actually extend to 3 acres, and as you can see, it's an absolutely delightful place in which to live. Internally, there is the beautiful beamed ceiling, which the owners have maintained and restored very well, and there's lovely views from all of the windows. Some updating was required, but that really is very minor compared to the location in which the property is located. Plentiful bedrooms throughout, and I just can't get away from looking at the garden and the lake at the back there. Really well worth a look. So that's another good property for you Rightmove addicts to go and take a look at. I thought it was superb. Now it's time for my market update. Hello and welcome to my CW8 market update for March 2019. I'll be producing one of these every month to keep you up to date with exactly what's going on in your local housing market. Please like and share so other CW8 residents can also be kept up to date. Now, a great way to take a quick snapshot of the market to see how buoyant things are is to compare the percentage of properties that are under offer compared to the total amount of houses on the market. Currently, 42% of the total properties on the market in CW8 are under offer. Now, this represents a really healthy market. Most estate agents, believe me, would kill for that sort of percentage under offer of their own stock. Going into more detail, I'd like to look back to March 2018 when there were 328 properties on the market in CW8. This is compared to 327 on the market in March of 2019. The market in March 2019 in terms of stock is incredibly similar to 2018 at the same time when there were 111 new listings last year, 109 this year, 81 sales agreed last year, 73 this year, 37 price reductions last year and 33 this year. This, of course, doesn't tell the full story, and it's important to look at more detail at the housing market and what's more relevant and important to you as the homeowner is current and latest asking price data, selling price data, and how long properties are taking to sell. I'm also going to break this down into the type of property to make it more relevant to you, the homeowner. So, the average asking price in CW8 is currently $325,000. Broken down into the two most popular house types in the area, the average detached is £483,000 and the average semi is £237,000. It's very important to compare this to selling prices. So I've looked at January 18 to 19 and the average selling price for detached houses last year was $340,000 nearly and $320,000 this year. Semis were $172,000 and $171,000 this year. It's also important to look at how long properties are taking to sell. For the last 12 months, March 18 to March 19, overall, properties are taking longer to sell. Broken down into types, detached houses are taking 23% longer to sell and semis 42% longer to sell than in March last year. In a healthy market such as this, the main reason why properties are taking longer to sell is overvaluing. So what I've done is I've looked at the most reduced properties in CW8, and on the 28th of March this year, there were 40 properties on the market which have been reduced since they were first put onto the market. The average reduction is 9.44%, which on the average CW8 house price means average reductions of around £30,000 before properties sell. In CW8 and such a healthy, buoyant market, property stock totals being incredibly similar to 2018, average prices are slightly down on the previous year, which will have been heavily affected by the amount of new build properties currently in CW8. When marketing your property, be very wary of the estate agents who overvalue simply to get you on the market. As you've heard from the price reduction data in my report, many people are having to reduce their asking prices in CW8.
Thanks for that market update. All of the historic episodes for that can be found on our blog, CheshirePropertyBlog.com. And now it's time for our feature, Fresh to Market.
Cheshire home buyers. I'm out and about again looking for new premium homes to the market in the area. This property behind me here is in Sandyway. Now this is a 6-bedroom detached house with a swimming pool complex, fantastic gardens and views of fields behind. It's recently come to the market with Strutt & Parker for £795,000 and I will put the Rightmove link in the comments below. Now I love this property because of its period features. As you can see, it's a lovely Cheshire brick property and we're well placed here for access onto the A556 for those who commute. Hertford is a 2 or 3 minute drive in this direction to my left. Well worth a look if you're looking for a large period house with character. Have a look at the Rightmove link, it could be the one for you. That was another fantastic new Cheshire listing, I'm sure you'll all agree. If anyone would like to feature on the Cheshire TV show, please don't hesitate to get in touch. It is free to appear.
Thank you everyone for watching. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.